So once you start to get some sales inside of your woodworking business, you're probably going to start getting overwhelmed, to be honest. To be completely honest, you're probably going to get more sales than you can handle, that you can possibly fulfill on, especially if you're doing this as a side hustle or part-time thing. So you've got two choices now. You can either work yourself to death, sacrifice time with your family or doing the things that you love, or you can start building a team. In this video, I want to tell you and show you exactly how I built my incredible team that now powers my business that does over $60,000 a month in revenue. So with that being said, let's dive in. All right, so today I'm gonna give you 6 steps to building a team specifically for your custom woodworking or custom furniture business. This is how I've done it. Obviously, you can do it however you wanna do it, but this is how I've done it, and this has worked for me on my way from $0, starting in my garage, to now consistently doing over $60,000 per month in revenue inside of my own woodworking business. So the number one thing that you need to do is not about building a team. It is about getting more sales. Now, this is one of those things that I honestly struggled with for like a year. I was kind of caught in between this like chicken or the egg scenario inside my mind. Like, oh my gosh, well, if I grow too fast, I'm going to make everybody mad and I'm not going to be able to fulfill on what I do, right? And so here's the reality though. You have to grow your business with sales first. You cannot build a big team and then not have any work to give them. So you have to identify the strategies that you need to sell more. If you're watching this right now and you're like, man, I know that I have a great product. I know that I build beautiful furniture or have a really unique thing going on that I think I could blow up, but you don't know how to get more sales, then I want you to go ahead and apply for the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. It is my coaching program where I work with woodworkers all across the United States and Canada to help them scale their business. And so I do a couple things. I help run your ads for you, which on average, for every dollar that we put into your advertising, we're going to generate anywhere from $10 to $20 in return. Our lowest clients have done anywhere from 8 to 12. My high-end clients, they've done 25x on their return on ad spend. So it's been an incredible thing to see the results that their clients are getting. But then I also coach you on the back end on how to build a team and how to fulfill on your promises. So number one, you have to worry about sales. That has to be your number one goal as the owner of the business, is that you are responsible to drive sales and revenue into the business. You can't have a team if you don't have sales. So number one, you have to drive sales. Number two, you need to hire for the lowest level of labor, okay? This is one of those things where you could listen to this and be like, well, there is no lowest level of labor. Everything's important. I absolutely agree with you. Everything is important, but there are some things that are not as important as others. You, for example, as the owner, should you be out there sanding a table or should you be getting more sales? If you're trying to build a big business, you should be getting more sales. There's no one else in your business that can drive sales. In my personal opinion, inside of a woodworking business, the lowest level of labor is like assembling chairs or something that comes pre-packaged that you're pulling out, you're putting those things together, or it's like sanding or staining. And the reason that this is the lowest level of labor is that you can really teach just about anybody to do this in an hour. It's not hard to slap stain on something and make sure that it's uniform and looks good. It's not hard to transfer your knowledge to somebody else. As the owner, you need to be constantly moving into higher value skill sets and higher value opportunities. So, leads me to my third hire that you need to make next. As you start to grow, you're gonna need to continually hire more and more people, right? Let me walk you through this for just a moment. When you're doing less than $10,000 a month in sales, you can do all that yourself. You should be able to do all that yourself, unless you're working a full-time job and you can't do that. Well, as you start to get stretched, like your capacity starting to get stretched, that's when you need to make that first hire, which is the lowest level of labor, which I just mentioned. Then you want to continue to expand, and as you and your lowest level of labor hire that you made, as y'all are getting stretched, then it's time to bring on the next hire for the shop. Now we're gonna have hires that are for the shop, and then we're gonna have other hires inside the business that are not strictly in the shop, okay? So the next hire that you need to make is you need to hire somebody that their woodworking knowledge is equal to yours. And the reason that I say this is because this person, you're gonna need to pay them a little bit more money, but they're gonna ultimately replace you as the leader inside the shop. So they need to have woodworking knowledge, but then they also need to be able to have people skills and know how to interact with the other people on your crew, especially as you start to grow and you have 4, 5, 10, 20 people inside your crew. And so they can work alongside you and will eventually replace you inside the shop if you're trying to build a big business. If you have a big business, you'll be more effective in other parts of that business. I already mentioned that. This is hard to come to terms with sometimes as woodworkers because we like using our hands. But if you want to build a big business, you can't be in the shop all the time. You've got to get out of the shop and you've got to be able to delegate that to other people inside of your business. Number 4, the next hire that you're going to make is an administrative assistant. And so why do I say this? Because what's going to happen is once you have you and 2 other people in the shop, you're probably doing somewhere around $30,000 a month, $30,000 or $40,000 a month. Especially if this isn't your full-time gig yet, you might be like, Zach, that's crazy. If I'm doing 30 grand a month, how would it not be my full-time gig? Well, I have a client right now inside the Woodworking Business Accelerator program that's keeping his day job. He had $58,000 in sales in November of last year and is averaging like $30,000 a month right now. So he's a perfect candidate. But you need somebody that can help handle the paperwork and the organization and ordering for your business. Now, maybe you take on all that and you hire somebody to replace you in the shop. You can go either way. But I knew with my other responsibilities, the other things I had going on in life, that I needed somebody to help me handle the paperwork and the organization side of the business. So that's number 4. Number 5, the next person that I recommend that you hire is a delivery driver, or somebody that would help you with logistics. Now, if you're building small items that need to be shipped out, you need to hire somebody that's what they're doing, is they're shipping out, they're packaging those things. Now, if you're like me, if you are building a really strong brand locally as a furniture company, I hired a delivery driver. And so that removed me from needing to always hop in my truck and go drive an hour and a half to go take a table somewhere and drive it back, because that's a 4-hour process or 3.5-hour process by the time that you load it up, you drive the hour and a half, you drop it off and you talk to the owner and do all that sort of stuff, then get back on the road. That's half of a day, right? And so you need to find somebody that can take that delivery driver role and you're offloading that off of your plate. Great candidates for this role are people that maybe are a little bit older and maybe they've retired, but they're healthy. They want to get out. They want to make a little bit extra money. They have a truck and a trailer. There you go. That's a great person for this role. And also because at this point, you're not going to be constantly delivering every single day or have multiple deliveries every single day. It's a little sporadic, and somebody that's retired, they can plan, you can work with their schedule a little bit more freely. The 6th hire, or the 6th thing that you need to do, is you need to hire a salesperson. Now, this is something that I recommend you doing last because, again, as the owner of the business, the most important thing that you can do is drive leads to your business and sell them. And this is one of the things that I would not offload too soon. If you're like, hey, Zach, I am an awful salesperson. I don't like people. I'm a good woodworker and I'm smart with business, then hire a salesperson first. But I personally believe that as the owner of the business, you need to have your hands in sales on a greater level. One of the last things that I did inside my business was I gave somebody this salesperson role to basically handle all the leads and all the inquiries that were coming into the business about the products that we sell. Taught her how to do it, trained her how to do it, and now she's crushing it, selling $50,000 to $110,000 a month in sales, depending on the month. If you do all these things and you continue to drive more and more leads to your business, you will grow. Now the only challenge comes down to, like, can I manage the money and not blow it and not screw it up? And can I manage the team? And that's really it. The last thing I just want to share with you, number 7 here, this is kind of a bonus. Once you have this in place, so you have your lowest level of labor, you have somebody to replace you in the shop, you have an admin assistant, you have a delivery driver and a salesperson. At that point, you really have basically everything that you need to start really scaling. All you have to do is start getting more and more leads, more and more inquiries, which just means a lot of times that you're spending more money on ads. You just start increasing how much money you spend on ads. You start selling more people, and then all you have to do, guys, is add more people to your shop. So you go from 2 or 3 guys to 4 guys to 5 to 6, and just reconfigure the flow inside of your shop. So if this video has helped you and kind of given you a roadmap on how to scale your business, let me know. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know that it was valuable and it was helpful for you. So if you have not subscribed yet to the channel, make sure that you subscribe. And lastly, like I said, if you're trying to grow your woodworking business, you're currently doing between $3,000 and $5,000 a month, you're trying to scale it, you're trying to develop a team, you're trying to develop a larger brand, check out the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. And if you're a newbie and you're just getting started in this and you're wanting to learn more information, check out my free ebook. It's called Handmade Business Secrets. And I basically just walk you through the principles that you need to know in order to scale, in order to grow. And so with that being said, guys, I really, really, really appreciate you all. Thank you for your love and your support, and I'll see you in the next video.